Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We're going to be in Dungeon World for this video. This is a continuation of the character creation videos. I believe the class I am on now is Druid. So I'll read a brief description of Druid and then we'll find Druid deeper in the book and create a Druid. So the Druid. Cast your eyes around the fire. What has brought you to these people, stinking of dust and sweat of the city? Perhaps it is a kindness. Do you protect them as the mother bear watches over their cubs? Are they your pack now? Strange brothers and sisters you have. Whatever your inspiration, they would certainly fail without your sharp sense and sharper claws. You are of the sacred spaces. You are born of soil and wear of the marks of her spirits on your skin. You may have had a life before, maybe you were a city dweller like them, but not now. You've given up the static shape, listened to your allies, pray to their carved stone gods, and polish their silver shells. They speak of the glory they'll find back in that festering town you left behind. Their gods are children. There still is false protection. You walk the old ways. You wear the pelts of the earth itself. You'll take your share of the treasure, but will you ever walk as one of them? Only time will tell. That's an interesting description of Druid. So now let's find out where Druid is actually in the book. 103. I would use the starting stats for new characters and place them as is appropriate for Druid. The picture they got for a Druid's pretty cool. So, and the first big paragraph up top here, those three little paragraphs up top above names, is the same description they gave at the beginning of the book. So that, A, I don't need to read it again, and B, that's cool. So if you skipped it, it's here again. So, elf, halfling, or human? Let's be a halfling. I like hobbits. The reason why hobbits isn't used in a lot of RPGs goes back to D&D 1st edition, I believe, or D&D 2nd edition. I think it was 1st edition. They used to call them hobbits, and which makes sense because if you read their description, you read a hobbit's description, that's what they are. But they got sued from Lord of the Rings, especially Lord of the Rings, when they wanted to do a tabletop game. So they had to change the name to halfling, which is also in Lord of the Rings, but is not directly the race's name. It's just a description of the race. So we'll pick a name from the halfling names. I'll go with the first name, Tanner. I have to pick my look. Normally I would roll these. I just don't have dice with me down here in the basement. So, wise eyes, wild eyes, haunting eyes. Well, let's leave his background mysterious, so we'll go with haunting eyes. Furry hood, messy hair, or braided hair. We'll go with messy hair. Like he hasn't washed it in weeks. Ceremonial garb, practical leathers, or weathered hides. I'm going to pick between practical leathers or weathered hides. I'll probably pick weathered hides to give him that description that he's been out in the wild a lot more. And he hasn't updated his outfit in a couple of months because of how weathered the hides are. Your maximum HP is 6 plus your constitution, so I'd make a note of that based off my constitution. Your base damage is a d6, so I'd make a note of that. So and d6 doesn't sound like a lot of damage, but as I've read into this game system a little bit more, you're rolling 2d6 to do stuff, so d6 seems appropriate. I haven't looked at the hit points of the monsters yet, but when I do, I'm pretty sure d6 is pretty appropriate. Okay, so starting moves, choose a race and gain the corresponding move. I picked Halfling. You sing the healing song of Spring and Brook. When you make camp, you and your allies heal 1d6. So that's cool. I can heal my allies pretty good. Now, if I was the elf, the sap of the elder tree flows within you. In addition to any other attunements, the great forest is always considered your land. Okay. Human. As your people learn to bind animals to field and farm, so too are you bound to them. You may always take the shape of any domesticated animal, in addition to your normal options. That's cool too. So, you start with these moves, it says. Born of the soil, you learn your magic in a place whose spirits are strong and ancient, and they've marked you as one of their own. No matter where you go, they live within you and allow you to take their shape. Choose one of the following, and its land to which you are attuned. When shapeshifting, you may take the shape of any animal who might live in your land. So that's cool. So right off the bat, if you're familiar with the shape-shifting of Druids and D&D, and Pathfinder, this gives it to you at first level, where in those games you had to wait till, I'm guessing about 5th level. It's been forever since I played a Druid. But it's not something you started the game with. So this is cool that it gives it to you out the right away. So the areas are the Great Forest, the Whispering Plains, the Vast Desert, the Stinking Mire, so swamps, the River Delta, the Depths of the Earth, the Sapphire Islands, I'm very curious about that one, the Open Sea, the Towering Mountains, the Frozen North, and the Blasted Waste. Choose a tell, physical attribute that marks you as born of the soil, that reflects the spirits of your land. It may be an animal feature like antlers or leopard spots, or something more general, hair like leaves or eyes glittering crystal. Your tell remains no matter what shape you take. So if you had leopard spots and you turn into a bear, you're a bear with leopard spots. That's hilarious. I like that. Let's see. I'll go with leopard spots just because of that one. And I would describe my leopard spots in my base form as really big freckles, but they're all over. By nature sustained, you don't need to eat or drink. If a move tells you to mark off a ration, just ignore it. So I'd make a note of that, and that's pretty cool. Spirit tongue. The grunts, barks, chirps, and calls of the creatures of the wild are as language to you. You can understand any animal native to your land or akin to one whose essence you have sustained. Cool. So it allows you to communicate with animals. That's pretty cool. Shapeshifter. When you call upon the spirits to change your shape, roll plus wisdom. So wisdom would have to be one of my high stats, or my highest stat. I'd definitely put that, since that's very clear there. On a 10 or higher, hold 3. On a 7 through 9, hold 2. On a miss, hold 1, in addition to whatever the GM says. So, needs to specify that a little bit more. You may take on the physical form of any species whose essence you have studied or whose lives in your land. You and your possessions meld into the perfect copy of the species form. You have any innate abilities and weaknesses of the form: claws, wings, gills, breathing water instead of air. You still use your normal stats, but some moves may be harder to trigger. A house cat will find it hard to do battle with an ogre. The GM will also tell you one or more moves associated with your new form, spending 1 hold to make that move. Once you're out of hold, you return to your natural form. At any time, you may spend all your hold and revert to your natural form. Okay, so that's what the hold means. That's just what I needed to clarify. So cool. Studied essence. When you spend time in contemplation of an animal spirit, you may add its species to those you can assume using shapeshifting. So that would probably allow you to pick animals outside of your area. That's pretty cool. Alignment. Choose an alignment. Chaotic. Destroy a symbol of civilization. Good. Help something or someone grow. Neutral. Eliminate an unnatural menace. I'd pick neutral for a druid. It just feels right to me. Though chaotic and good both sound good too. It's just neutral feels right. Gear. Your load is 6 plus your strength. You carry some token of your land. Describe it. Choose your defenses. Hide armor. Wooden shield. This case, I'd probably have to base that off of what I pick as my weapon. I could have a shillelagh, close, 2 weight, a staff, close, 2-handed, 1 weight, spear, close, thrown, near, 1 weight. We'll go with spear and wooden shield. So the wooden shield adds 1 armor, the hide armor is 1 armor. So I just have the wooden shield. I'd want to upgrade to hide armor in the future, and I'd make a note of that on my character, that would be one of the upgrades I'd be seeking for my armor. Choose one. Adventuring gear, poultices, and herbs. That's funny that I said politics. Poultices and herbs, 2 uses, 1 weight. Halfling pipe leaf, 3 antitoxins. So I'd pick adventuring gear just from my gaming history as a player, but poultices and herbs sound good, and halfling pipe leaf sounds good as a halfling. 3 antitoxins also sound good. So everything listed would benefit you. You just pick what you would want at that point. And then it has the same bonds that all the others have, just tailored to the druid, that you would fill in names and link yourself to the party. There's advanced moves for levels 2 through 5. So I'm getting the feeling that this game only goes to 5th level, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I'm getting that feeling, this being the 3rd class I've done, and that's where the advanced moves show. So they give you more moves than what you could acquire by 5th level, so that allows you to customize and design your character. This is me creating a druid for Dungeon World. Hopefully that was helpful to anyone looking to play a druid in Dungeon World. If you know one of your fellow players that is, or you know that one of your players could be interested in it, share this with them just so they could get a good feel of it if they don't have the book. Well, until we all game again, guys.